Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you from the heart today. The title of this message is simple, but the truth behind it will change your life if you let it. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, not the day people clap for you, not the day they believe in you, not the day life gets easy. Success begins the day you decide that your life matters. Too many people are waiting for permission to be great. You're waiting on your friends, your family, your circumstances, your money, or your past to line up just right. Let me tell you something, nobody is coming to save you. If you don't take yourself seriously, the world won't either. The moment you wake up and say, I am responsible for my future, everything starts to shift. Ladies and gentlemen, success always starts with one powerful decision, and that decision is believing in yourself before anybody else does. Most people get this part wrong. They think confidence comes after results, after money, after applause, after validation. But confidence doesn't come from success. Success comes from confidence. The day you decide that your life has value, that your dreams are valid, and that your future matters, that's the day your journey truly begins. See, the world is not designed to believe in you first. People are cautious. People doubt. People judge based on what they can see right now, not on what you can become. If you wait for everyone to clap before you move, you'll stay stuck forever. You have to be willing to walk alone before you walk with a crowd. That's not arrogance, that's faith. Believing in yourself means trusting the vision God planted inside you, even when there's no evidence around you that it's going to work. It means getting up every day and showing up for a future you can't yet touch. It means saying, I know who I am becoming, even when your current situation tries to convince you otherwise. Let me tell you something real. Every successful person you admire had a season where nobody believed in them. Nobody. Not their friends, not their family, sometimes not even their own reflection in the mirror. But they kept going because deep down, they knew they were built for more. That inner belief is what separated them from everybody who quit too soon. When you truly believe in yourself, your behavior changes. You stop entertaining negative conversations. You stop letting small minds shape your big future. You stop asking people for permission to chase what God already approved. Your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, your standards rise, and people start noticing, not because you ask them to, because belief shows up in how you move. Self-belief also means understanding that failure is not a verdict. It's feedback. When something doesn't work, it doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're learning. It means you're growing. It means you're one step closer to getting it right. But if you don't believe in yourself, every failure feels final, and every setback feels personal. You start questioning your worth instead of adjusting your strategy. A lot of people are talented, gifted, and full of potential, but they never win because they don't believe in themselves long enough to see results. They quit too early. They listen too closely to opinions. They let fear talk louder than faith. And fear will always lie to you. Fear will tell you you're not ready, not smart enough, not qualified enough. But belief says, I'll figure it out as I go. Believing in yourself is not loud. It doesn't need an audience. It's quiet, consistent, and unshakable. It's waking up early when nobody's watching. It's working late when nobody's clapping. It's staying committed when motivation fades. That kind of belief builds momentum, and momentum attracts opportunity. Let me say this clearly. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else's belief will save you. People can encourage you, support you, and pray for you, but you still have to walk the path. You still have to show up. You still have to decide that quitting is not an option. The moment you stop looking outside for approval and start looking inside for assurance, you become dangerous in a good way. You become focused. You become resilient. You become unstoppable. Because when you believe in yourself, circumstances lose their power over your mindset. Success doesn't start with money, connections, or luck. It starts with one decision made in private. I am worth the effort. My dream is worth the risk. My future is worth the work. And once that belief takes root, everything else begins to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, when you truly take yourself seriously, you stop treating your dreams like something you do only when it's convenient. Most people say they want success, but their actions tell a different story. They work on their goals when they feel motivated, when life is calm, when everything lines up just right. Let me tell you something, success does not respond to feelings. Success responds to commitment. A dream that is not backed by discipline will always remain a wish. When you take yourself seriously, you understand that your goals deserve structure, routine, and sacrifice. You stop saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," and you start asking, "What can I do today?" That shift alone separates achievers from talkers. See, hobbies are optional. You can pick them up, put them down, forget about them for months, and nothing changes. But commitments demand consistency. Commitments require you to show up even when you're tired, even when you're bored, even when nobody is watching. The moment you treat your dream like a commitment, your life begins to reorganize around it. Taking your dream seriously means protecting your time. You start saying no to distractions that don't serve your future. You realize that every hour wasted is an hour stolen from the life you're trying to build. That doesn't mean you never rest. It means you rest with purpose, knowing when it's time to recharge and when it's time to grind. A lot of people want the results without respecting the process. They want the applause without the practice. They want the reward without the routine. But success is built in the unseen moments, the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet sacrifices nobody posts about. When you commit to the process, the results have no choice but to show up. Let me be honest with you. Discipline will take you places motivation never will. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and other days you won't feel like getting out of bed. Discipline says, do it anyway. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when excitement fades and obstacles appear. When you commit to your dream, setbacks no longer stop you. They teach you. You stop quitting every time things get hard. You stop changing direction every time something doesn't work. Instead, you adjust, you learn, and you keep going. That consistency builds confidence, and confidence attracts opportunity. Taking your dream seriously also means investing in yourself. You invest time, energy, learning, and sometimes money into becoming better. You read, you study, you practice, you grow. You stop waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity and start preparing yourself to be ready when it comes. People may not understand your commitment at first. They might call you obsessed. They might say you're doing too much. Let them talk. Nobody criticizes the finish line. They criticize the starting line. But the same people who doubt you now will respect you later when your consistency turns into results. When you stop treating your dream like a side option and start treating it like a responsibility, something powerful happens. You become reliable to yourself. You build trust with yourself. And that self-trust becomes the foundation of everything you achieve. Success is not built on talent alone. It's built on daily decisions that align with your goals. It's built on choosing discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, and commitment over excuses. The day you decide your dream deserves your best effort every single day, not just on good days, is the day you step into a new level of seriousness. And that level changes everything. Ladies and gentlemen, when you take yourself seriously, one of the first things you must do is raise your standards. You cannot expect a high-quality life while operating with low-quality habits. Your standards are the rules you live by, and whether you realize it or not, they are shaping your future every single day. The life you have right now is a reflection of the standards you have accepted. A lot of people confuse standards with comfort. They stay where they are because it feels familiar even when it no longer serves them. But comfort will lie to you. Comfort will keep you stuck in situations you've outgrown. Growth requires discomfort. When you take yourself seriously, you become uncomfortable with being average, uncomfortable with excuses, uncomfortable with wasting time you can never get back. Raising your standards means you stop settling for less money than you deserve, for relationships that drain you, for environments that limit your growth. You start asking yourself better questions. Not, why is this happening to me? But what do I need to change to get where I want to go? That shift alone puts you ahead of most people. See, successful people don't just want more. They expect more from themselves. They hold themselves accountable even when no one else does. They don't blame the past, the economy, their upbringing, or bad luck. They take ownership. And ownership is powerful because when you take responsibility, you take control. Taking yourself seriously also means protecting your energy. You can't allow everybody access to you. Not everyone deserves your time, your attention, or your emotional investment. Some people are distractions disguised as friends. Some conversations are traps that pull you away from your purpose. When you raise your standards, you become selective, not arrogant, selective. Your environment matters more than you think. The people you listen to, the places you spend time in, and the content you consume are either feeding your future or poisoning it. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and excuses, don't be surprised when your motivation disappears. When you take yourself seriously, you intentionally place yourself around growth, learning, and positivity. Raising your standards also shows up in how you handle adversity. You stop folding under pressure. You stop quitting when things get tough. You understand that challenges are not signs to stop, they are signs to level up. Every obstacle comes with a lesson, and every lesson prepares you for the next stage of your life. Let me tell you something real. Life is not going to lower its difficulty for you. The problems don't get smaller, you get stronger. But that strength only develops when you demand more from yourself. When you stop saying, "This is just how I am," and start saying, "This is who I'm becoming." When you raise your standards, your habits change. You become more disciplined with your time. You stop procrastinating on things that matter. You start finishing what you start. You understand that consistency is a form of self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build confidence. Every time you break one, you weaken your belief. A lot of people want a better life, but they refuse to let go of old habits. You cannot reach a new level while holding on to an old mindset. Something has to go. Sometimes it's laziness. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's people who are comfortable with you staying the same. Taking yourself seriously means being willing to lose what's familiar to gain what's possible. Raising your standards doesn't mean you won't fail. It means failure won't define you. You stop seeing mistakes as proof that you're not good enough and start seeing them as part of the process. You don't sit in self-pity. You get up, adjust, and keep moving. When you take yourself seriously, your life starts to reflect that decision. You walk differently. You talk differently. You show up differently. Not because you're pretending to be someone else, but because you're finally honoring who you were created to be. The world responds to standards. When you raise yours, opportunities rise to meet you. People begin to respect you not because you demand it, but because your actions speak for you. And it all starts with one decision made in private. I will no longer accept less than what I know I'm capable of. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be honest with you. Success has a price, and that price is sacrifice. Nobody talks about this part enough. Everybody wants the reward, the recognition, the lifestyle, but very few people are willing to pay what it actually costs. Taking yourself seriously means you understand up front that something in your life has to change, and something may have to be given up. Sacrifice means choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. It means saying no to comfort today so you can say yes to freedom tomorrow. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they are unwilling to let go of habits, routines, and distractions that are slowly killing their potential. When you take yourself seriously, you realize you can't live like everyone else and expect a different result. You can't keep the same sleep habits, the same circle, the same excuses, and somehow end up with extraordinary success. Something has to shift. Sacrifice is not punishment, it's alignment. You are aligning your life with where you say you want to go. Let me tell you this clearly, sacrifice hurts. If it doesn't hurt, it's not sacrifice. It hurts to wake up early when everyone else is sleeping. It hurts to work while others are relaxing. It hurts to be misunderstood, to feel alone, to miss out on certain moments. But what hurts more is staying stuck in a life you know you were meant to outgrow. Taking yourself seriously means accepting that struggle is part of the journey, not a sign you're doing something wrong. Too many people quit when things get hard because they assume difficulty means failure. No, difficulty means development. Pressure creates strength. Resistance builds resilience. Every challenge you face is shaping you for the next level. There will be moments when you question yourself, moments when progress feels slow, moments when it seems like nothing is working. That's the test. That's where most people turn back. But if you can push through that uncomfortable middle, you separate yourself from the crowd. The struggle is not there to stop you. It's there to prove how serious you are. Sacrifice also means letting go of people who no longer fit your future. And that's one of the hardest parts. Some people only know the old version of you. They're comfortable with you staying the same. When you start growing, they feel threatened, confused, or left behind. Taking yourself seriously means choosing your future, even when it costs you certain relationships. You don't owe anyone access to your destiny. You owe yourself honesty. If someone consistently pulls you backward, drains your energy, or mocks your ambition, you have a decision to make. And that decision will shape your future more than you realize. Struggle also teaches humility. It reminds you that nothing worthwhile comes easy. It keeps you grounded. It builds gratitude. When you've worked for something, you appreciate it differently. You protect it. You respect it. And when success finally arrives, you're prepared to handle it. Most people want success fast, but fast success often creates weak foundations. Real success is built layer by layer, lesson by lesson. The nights you cried, the days you doubted, the times you wanted to quit but didn't. All of that becomes part of your strength. Taking yourself seriously means you stop complaining about the weight and start building the muscles. Life will never stop challenging you. New levels bring new problems. But when you've already learned how to struggle without quitting, pressure no longer scares you. It sharpens you. Let me tell you something important. Every sacrifice has an expiration date. Every season of struggle has an ending. But quitting has no reward. Giving up guarantees nothing changes. Pushing through guarantees growth, even if it's slow. When you look back one day, you won't regret the sacrifices you made for your dreams. You'll regret the chances you didn't take, the effort you didn't give, and the fear you listened to instead of your calling. Taking yourself seriously means deciding that your future is worth the discomfort, worth the struggle, and worth the sacrifice. Because the life you want is not going to come from ease. It's going to come from endurance, faith, and the courage to keep going when it would be easier to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, when you truly take yourself seriously, you stop waiting for life to change and you start changing yourself. You realize that responsibility is not a burden, it is power. The moment you accept full responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your direction, you take control of your future. Blame may feel comfortable, but it will never move you forward. A lot of people spend their lives pointing fingers. They blame their past, their parents, their lack of resources, their environment, or the timing. And while some of those things may be real challenges, they cannot be permanent excuses. The day you take yourself seriously is the day you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What am I going to do about it?" Taking responsibility means understanding that every decision you make is a vote for the kind of life you are building. How you spend your time, who you listen to, what you tolerate, and what you avoid, all of it matters. Success is not one big move. It's a series of small, disciplined choices made consistently over time. When you take responsibility, you also stop waiting for perfect conditions. There will never be a perfect time, perfect plan, or perfect moment. Waiting for perfect is just fear in disguise. Serious people move with what they have where they are and trust that clarity will come through action. Accountability is a sign of maturity. When something goes wrong, you don't collapse, you adjust. You don't deny mistakes, you own them. You don't repeat the same errors, you learn from them. Growth happens when honesty meets effort. Taking yourself seriously also means setting boundaries. You stop allowing chaos, negativity, and disrespect into your life. Not because you think you're better than anyone, but because you understand your peace is essential to your progress. You can't build a focused future in a distracted environment. Responsibility also shows up in patience. You understand that real success takes time. You don't quit just because results are slow. You trust the process even when the progress is invisible. You know that consistency compounds even when it feels boring or unrewarding. There will be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, and unsure. Responsibility says, do it anyway. It's not about feeling ready, it's about being committed. Serious people don't rely on emotion, they rely on discipline. And discipline builds freedom. When you take full responsibility, you stop expecting others to carry your dreams for you. Support is nice, encouragement helps, but no one can do the work for you. You stand on your own 2 feet. You push yourself. You hold yourself to a higher standard. Let me tell you this, responsibility is the bridge between potential and reality. Everyone has potential, but not everyone is willing to take ownership of it. Potential without responsibility is wasted talent. Taking yourself seriously also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. You don't let guilt keep you stuck. You acknowledge where you went wrong, learn the lesson, and move forward. Responsibility is not self-punishment, it's self-leadership. When you stop blaming and start building, everything changes. Your confidence grows. Your focus sharpens. Your actions become intentional. And slowly, the life you once dreamed about begins to take shape. Success does not come to those who complain the most. It comes to those who take charge. And the moment you decide that no matter what happens, you will respond with effort, integrity, and persistence, you step into a